Welcome to the halftime show, everybody here on Alibeg ABTV. So currently at Tannadice, it sits Dundee United 0, Aberdeen 0. Here are your first half stats from the game. So Aberdeen enjoyed 52% of possession, 3 shots in total to Dundee United's 15, who came out the traps the quickest. No shots on target yet for the Dons, 3 for Dundee United, 2 fouls committed by United. They've won 6 corners, but towards the end of the first period, we started to come into it a little bit more and won 4 corners in that opening 45 minutes. Hi everybody, how you doing? A very warm welcome to the halftime show here on Alibeg ABTV. So it's 0-0. It's not been the best, has it? I felt after, let's just go through it before we get you involved. So this is the idea for this halftime show, is for you guys to get in touch on YouTube, leave all your comments underneath the main video, and then be respectful, don't use bad language as normal, and then I'll do my best in the next 15 minutes or so. I tell you what we'll do, let's put on a stopwatch so that we know that we've got roughly 12-13 minutes before we have to hand back. So yeah, it's not been the best. Let's just go through it. So it was a pretty bad start to the game, wasn't it? 2 defensive errors in the first 5 minutes, handing Stephen Fletcher a couple of chances. The first one fantastically well saved by Jay Gorta. Then the second one well blocked by Jack McKenzie after he made the initial mistake. I just felt we didn't settle in the first 20 minutes at all, and typical of us, just when Dundee United were there for the taking, we've absolutely handed them the initiative in the first half an hour. They're playing 5 across the back, so it's up to us to try and break them down. There was a chance on 20 minutes. Ryan Edwards had a header, which again was well saved by Jay Gorta underneath the crossbar. A minute later, Ryan Duncan had half a chance when he tried to knock the ball down for Bojan Majowski. That was our first sniff at goal. What I felt was that we were giving them far too much room to get balls into the box. We really need to start closing them down and stop supplying their crosses into the box. What about that on 35 minutes? Jay Gorta with a heart-in-the-mouth moment when he came out to contest that ball with Stephen Fletcher. I know it was offside in the end, but dearie me, with a foot up like that, anything can happen. And then just a few minutes before half-time, Bojan couldn't quite collect the ball from a brilliant Leighton Clarkson cross. And this is what we're saying. Just start getting balls into the box. Chuck the balls in. That's what we need to do. So let's just remind ourselves about the team that Barry has picked today. So it was the same starting 11 that started against Livingston last week. So Jay in goal, a back 4, which is almost like a 3 with Jack and Ross playing further forward of the 2 centre-backs. Hilber sort of floating in and around more right-hand side. Graham, Leighton and Ryan Duncan. Duke's floating about in and around Bojan Majowski, who we just need to get a supply to. So just to confirm, it was exactly the same team that Barry Robson picked against Livingston last week. Right. Let's open it up to the floor. Let's see how many of you are on tonight. And let's get your comments on. Oh, sorry. Let me turn that down. There we go. Brilliant. Great to see so many on at halftime. Okay, so John Grant has said that he thinks we need to get Ross McCrory into midfield. A lot of people are agreeing with that already. Leighton Clarkson has been very passive again, says Ewan Grant. Steve Tosh said it in commentary. Too many times he's just looking for that Hollywood pass. Just play it simple. And if you get an opportunity, knock it into the box at the earliest opportunity. You did it for Ryan Duncan. You did it for Bojan Majowski. Let's do it again. Robert Duthie has said, with all the shots Dundee United are having, it's only a matter of time until they score. 14 shots, but none on target. Aberdeen, 4 shots, none on target. Mark Robertson, we either need to tweak our formation to break down this back 5, or hope United switch to a 4, then Clark's on can start passing through the lines. Duncan Shand has said, what about giving Majowski a chance? Sorry, do you mean Majowski or Mislovic? Duncan, just confirm that for me, please. Richard McKenzie has said, not a great game or a display so far. It certainly hasn't been. Graham Buchan has said, not the most convincing first half, but we've had a couple of half chances. Martin Smith has said, need to win the second balls and take a man on. Yeah, I just don't think that we were competitive enough in the first 20 minutes. You could see that they were right up for it. SITV Network, how you doing? I'm listening to the game on the radio and the amount of pelters Jim Goodwin is getting. Yeah, let's not worry about Jim Goodwin. It's what it is, what it is. We don't need to concentrate our efforts on him. Graham Watt just never got started. Very lucky to be 0-0 at half-time. David Gold has said it's been a very frustrating first half. Graham Duncan has said 0-0, good going for the first half. Changes needed. Yeah, I think so too. I won't be surprised if Barry does make a couple of changes. The Mad Ferret has said not the greatest first half. Richard McKenzie has said no cutting edge or creativity. Can't be bothered has said that Duke and Duncan looking a bit lost. We just need to... I just think sometimes just get your foot on the ball and just slow it down. Head up, look for the simple pass and see if you can break them down through the lines. At the moment, everything seems to be just too rushed. Just slow it down. Derek Griffiths has said that we're lucky to be in at 0-0, although we had a great chance with Duncan. Hopefully we can make a big difference in the second. Gray Pilgrim has said, concussion assessment is a joke. It needs to be taken seriously or just ignored. A 30-second quickie does nothing for anyone. I completely agree, and Steve Tosh mentioned it as well. It's a very good point. Colin W. Last night, he said that he was going to bet a friend who was a lifelong Dundee United fan that we'd win by 2 or more. I shouldn't have had that fourth pint. David Gold has said we just started growing into the game before half-time. Yeah, we did. We were just starting to get a foothold in the game. Christopher Hill has said Leighton Clarkson is looking lost. Paul Hurd has said creativity-wise, I'm not seeing what our tactics are. Yeah, I think we need to tweak it. I agree. I'm not sure exactly what we're trying to do here. John Grant has said we should be pressing them the way they are pushing us. Nothing in midfield and forwards haven't done much. Scales centre defence, McDonald right back, McCrory right midfield in place of Duncan. Yeah. Stuart Cleary has said Barry needs to change things big time second half. The goalkeeper was very lucky. Yeah, I think he was lucky as well. Deary me. David Gold has said we need to be more direct. We do. I said this in the preview show earlier today. We needed to lump more balls into the box and try and unsettle them at the back as quickly as we possibly could and do a high press. But unfortunately, in that first 20 minutes, we did nothing of the kind and handed them the initiative. Craig Peters has said, we need to get more shots off. Absolutely. If there's an opportunity, just take it. Kevin Tom, need to pull the finger out and attack them. Quick press and move head first. James Brown, need to get the ball to Duke a little bit more. Can't be bothered, I said, think we need to go a more traditional 4-4-2. Yeah, I can see that. Paul Hurd has said, first time I've seen Pollock not so dominant in the air. Yeah, Duncan just came back and said, Mislovic, yeah. I'd like to see the boy on as well and see what he can create in that final third. Lee Doubles has said, hi Lee, Shinnie needs to get on the ball more. Let's take on some of the United players. Show some fight. Come on, boys. Yeah, again, I think, not that I like to say it, but I think Graham's been a little bit missing in the first half. Right, let's just see where we are in terms of time. Okay, so we've got 7 minutes left until the start of the second half. So let's get back to your comments. Mark Munn is not happy with the performance at all. Said pathetic performance against the worst team in the league. This is why we need a good, experienced manager. Mark Robertson has said, when we slowed the game down, we look far more composed. United have something to prove, so patience is the key. I agree that we also, on the Big Saturday Football Show, I said it's going to be a very tight game. I can only see there being one goal in it. Tonight, there could just be that one goal in it. But we just have to keep banging on the door and we have to try and unlock them. And this is where this whole creativity thing comes in for me. And start getting the balls into the box. Deary me. Baz Strachan has said, Hayes in for the second half to change it up. Neil Strachan has said, Willie Miller says Duke should be playing at the back. What does he mean by that, Neil? Any idea? Mark Robertson had said, I'd like to see Babbage on. Yeah, I'd like to see him on as well. The only thing is, I'm just not sure you can bring a 16-year-old kid on when it's 0-0, when the game is, because it is quite frantic, isn't it? And I'm not sure it would suit a 16-year-old, but I could be completely wrong. You know, you could chuck him on. He's going to go in there possibly with absolutely no fear, and have absolutely no issues taking the players on, because at the moment we're not taking anybody on. So yeah, why not? Chuck him on. Christopher Hill has said, good call on Hayes coming on, but how long can we keep going to that well? SITV Network, maybe bring on Markandé and see what he does. This is what I think. I think we need some creativity in that final third. So I think everybody's in agreement here that we do need to look at possibly a creative player to come on in the final third. Graham Duncan has said, come on you Reds, gamble the point for 3. John Grant has come back and said, good thing is that it's still 0-0. Decent bench to change things as legs tire. I genuinely think if we start to break them down and create more chances, I think they'll start to crumble, and I think they'll start to tire, not just physically but mentally, and then I think they'll start to open up. So that's why I think we still have to keep this high press. David Calder said, we need to see more of what Mislovic can do. We have options to buy clause in these loan deals. Graham Buchan has come on. Hi, Graham. Their keeper looks nervous. Need to try shots and less trying to walk the ball through their defence. Absolutely spot on. Just get it at him. Just have a pop shot and see how he copes with it. Okay, Can't Be Bothered has reiterated that Willie Miller is saying that Duke isn't showing any interest in tracking back. Yeah, he needs to stop the balls coming into the box. He's been guilty of it a few times. Mark Munn has said, a loss tonight is beyond acceptable. Bass Strachan has said, bit of pace against a tiring Mulgrew later on with Alfie Bavidge. Yeah. David Gold has said, patience is key, but give them too much time to get men back. Need to draw them out. They're quite deep. Yeah. Neil Strachan has said, think we should go 4-2-4, attack more second half. Mark Munn reminds everybody that Ross County buried them. They did. David Gold has said, kids are fearless. Give them half an hour. Yeah, absolutely, David. I can see that. Sorry, guys. Let's just see how we're doing for time. Okay, just a couple of minutes. So we've got a time for a couple of more of your comments. Lee Doubles is back in saying, wish we could show more composure when we're in possession, make more direct passes into Duke, need more creativity from the boys. Come on, you Reds. Okay, right, guys, that's us done. Let's get back so that we don't miss the start of the second half. Thank you so much for watching the halftime show. There's no full-time show tonight, but I will be back tomorrow night for the review show at 7 o'clock. So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the second half. Come on, lads. Big second half coming up. We could go 5th. Come on. There's an incentive to do well.